time to tackle the control panel for Oscillator, where we can change the wave shape, adjust semitone, transposition, detuning, and oscillator level. So we've been here before. It's very similar to how the filter settings work. So what we're going to do, since it's going to be four controls per oscillator, well, that makes things a lot easier because the layout here is you have four knobs that you can adjust, and so we want to kind of keep with that concept. So for oscillator, same thing as filter, we can just go into program files and filter one control. We'll copy that and we'll do a new folder. Oscillator controls. Open that and paste, and we're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and change this. Instead of filter one control, we're going to do oscillator one control, and open that up. Okay, so we have different settings here. You can adjust semitone, detuning, and level, and it's pretty straightforward. So you can transpose up and down an octave by semitone. So you don't need this fader, any of these faders here, to go 0 to 127 for semitone. So probably where it says resonance, we're going to use that for semitone transposition. And where it says type, that's going to be our detuning. Now take a look at detuning. Now it does go that range 0 through 127. Okay, fine. And level, also 0 through 127. So the only one that's kind of the exception is this one right here. Okay, what about type? Well, we don't have type, but we do have shape. So this one right here needs to move over here and then slide these two over one. So let's go ahead and get to work on that. I have a bad habit of clicking on this and clicking on properties. I should click on open. And it's a bad habit, and I'm trying to break myself of it. So anyway, filter one. Obviously, this is come back here. Obviously, this is not filter one. So properties, and we're going to change this to oscillator. Oops. There we go. All right, oscillator one. And I just need to trade some of these around. So let's move this over. I'm thinking maybe to save some time, Well, to save time, I can just switch these out. All right, so I want to grab this one right there and move him down here and move. Grab too much. I need to grab this also. There. And we'll put this one over here. All right, we're in good shape. So let's take a look at this right here is really going to take a lot of time to deal with. I don't like how the reset button just kind of got jammed up against my my label here. So I'm not really crazy how that looks with these reset buttons jammed up against here either, but it's a decent compromise. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get some preliminary stuff out of the way. We'll call this shape. And this will be semitone. Detune. And level. All right, so we're off to a good start. For here, reset to 1 is good because 1 is going to be actually pulse, sawtooth. Let's make that more like a 2. Okay, so for semitone, let's pull up our MIDI input monitor and see what we have for semitone. So semitone runs from 52 to 76. Detune. All right, detune is your regular 0 to 127, but for our default, we need to keep that on a 64. And for level, we'll default to 127. Okay, now, of course, this isn't doing anything because it's right now, it's sending everything to the filter. Notice that I haven't made any recordings with the synthesizer since I started this phase of building the editor, and I just wanted to save some time just kind of getting into the parameters and setting up, and then testing it out by doing some good sound design later on when I'm finished. But there's really nothing to hear right now anyway. But right now, this is sending all the settings to filter one. So that's if I tried to play this patch as I'm making, there's no telling what it's going to sound like, but it's probably not going to sound very good. Let me check this semitone. Right. Okay, so semitone is set between these two numbers, but we need a default. Yeah, so the default on semitone will be 64. And there's not any real need to go in and change this on the other page, or not the other page, but on where the parameters are stored, module parameters. But a couple of things, since some things got switched out. Well, okay, so this is actually kind of where it should be anyway. And let's see. Let's kind of move these around. All right, so these got swapped around. So just to make things a little easier on myself, I'm going to swap these around. There. Okay, so I've got these swapped around, and now everything here in parameters matches everything we have here. And that just, and notice how this this fader kind of stays in the middle. There's no real need to try to fix it unless I just want to. But what I will do is I want to check the properties. Okay, so 0 through 11. This one is going to go 127. It needs to, yeah. This should be also 127. This one is, because shape, we've got 128. Well, not really, but 128 that we're responsible for. Making this list is going to be a pain. That's going to eat up a lot of my time for this video. Be mostly making sure those are plugged in. All right, so for the sake of consistency, we're going to go 5276. We'll do the same thing here. It doesn't really make a difference. It's a nitpick. And I think that one's already set up. It is. And also here. Stay put. Okay. So we are ready to map these out. So that's what I'll do. I'll start with getting them mapped, and then I'll do the list. So let's just go ahead and get this done now. And you can just kind of come over here and chill for a minute. All right, and yeah, control. All of these are mapped to controls. So this is going to be the easy part. Well, yeah, this is going to be the easy part. So here we're going controller 31. $28. 29. And 52. And we're set. We're good. Okay. So oscillator 1 is actually ready, except you're not going to see the correct label here. Like it's not going to, the name is not going to add up. But watch this. So watch this right here. And if you're following along at home, and if you're creating this with me, then this is already working. All right, so now the thing to do is to create the list. Now, it's been my habit to manually scroll through to get the names of the different settings that go on the list. But you don't have to actually do that. Okay, you don't have to actually do that. You can do, okay, I'm using the else library. And so if you don't have else, then this editor will not work. Could I do this with PD vanilla and not bother with else? Of course I could. But else has a lot of features on there that make things a lot easier to do. And so I think this works the way I want it to. So you always want to come up with ways of making things easier on yourself. And having a counter can be really, really nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I think I want to leave that 0 there on display. I think I would prefer to just be, well, I'm going to leave this here. I don't feel like messing with it. But I want to go ahead and connect this to the slider. And what this will do is it will scroll through each setting or each wavetable one at a time. Okay, and so I want to use that to get the names for the list. And that will make things go a lot quicker. Here we go. Okay, correction. It does not display the names of everything. So, um, I am in. That's done me no good. I've shot myself in the foot. That's all right though, because some of these are pretty obvious. Or in this case, it actually does give you the name. So all is not lost. This is not nearly as hard as I thought it would be. Okay, so we have several wavetables, and I really have no idea why they did this. I'd love someone to explain this to me, but why are these reserved? I think we should have access to them, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, there are several that are reserved. So this will be a quick copy paste kind of thing for a while. Okay, I think I got that right. I'll have to come back and double check. And then the next ones are user wavetable. Okay, this is going to be tricky. My plans when I am finished with this part of the editor, my plan is to create a wavetable creator. I feel that it should be easy to create user wavetables, and Pure Data is really good with that kind of thing. So that's going to take a lot of research. I'm working on the problem. I have had a program in Python that would do wavetables, and and you could come up with mathematical formulas, or you could come up with sinusoids and just dump everything onto the Blofeld. It was really cool, and what I was using for that got destroyed, so I no longer have that capability, and I don't remember how I got there. So it's I'm starting completely over trying to understand wavetables on the Blofeld in terms of how to make user created wavetables. So that will be the last thing I do in this main series on the Blofeld synth. I plan on taking this further out beyond just making user wavetables. I'm not going to. Well, I guess I might as well figure out how to work with samples, but I think there is a separate program from Waldorf to load samples. So I think I'm going to have to come back because I don't really use the. I have the sample. I have the license, but I've never. That's just never been something that I did anything with. So I've never been that worried about it. But it might be time for me to go back and look into that. So the remaining are user wavetables. So I just need to find out how many of those there are. And all I'm going to do is this user wave table. And when I get done, I should be able to also read exclusive files. I should be able to load exclusive files into Pure Data, and it should map out the names. There should be a way to put all the names of everything into this window here, without me having to type everything in. This is just getting us started with the editor, but there are other ways, and some ways are a lot faster and a lot more convenient. So the steps to get there, well, they're just more steps involved. So we'll get there. And some of these are, like I said, I created some wavetables way back when using Python, and that's what these are. And that takes you out to the sound file. Okay, so going through and looking at the wavetable, the user wavetable section. So just looking through here, it starts at number 86, and we'll just say it goes through 127. Like that. So that's we'll just say that, and this is where my my real experience with the Blofeld is kind of limited. I'm going to have to go back. It's been a while since I've messed with these wavetables and making my own wavetables, so I'm sure at some point I did something, and this should probably say user wavetable instead of just a dash. So I might have been testing something out. I really don't remember. I should probably do a factory reset before I do anything, but I want to keep the wavetables that I made. But at any rate, we'll just say from 86, so this should be 86 right here through 127. So just copy and paste accordingly. Okay, and if I did this correctly, if I did this right, then this will all line up. So I'm going to save it for now, and I'm not going to worry about moving on to samples. I'm just not entirely sure how exactly that works. So I'll have to do a little bit more research on it, and I'll have to load up some samples myself, and I believe I can put that together. But for the time being, this is where I think we need to live. Okay, so here it is. I have to remember to save. Mm-hmm. And we're suffering from that problem where it doesn't really want to go all the way, but now it is. It's just fine. Don't like how this is working, because this is going to be similar. We can close this. It's going to be similar to how it works here. And so this is going to be, uh-huh. Okay, it works fine. Sometimes these do not match up. It's just, and we've seen that before. That's a bug that obviously needs to be worked out. It looks like I've got it matched up okay. I don't like this though. Look how look how there's we're running out of room here, so I need to work on that a little bit. And let's try 12. Okay, and then we got to fix this here. And I haven't had to go back and fix UI elements in a while. All right, so this is not going to affect that. So let's get in here. All right, now as soon as I touch this, it's going to goof things up. So I'm going to wait a minute. Interesting. Okay. And no, this is still not right. No, 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 no. I need the atom. Mm, oh, I don't care about the canvas. Yeah. Having problems. Font size, auto. Well, that's no good. Okay. We'll leave it at 15 and see how that does. And then we still need to adjust this canvas width. And just drop that right there. Okay, and then I'm going to delete that. I think we're good here. I'm going to, since I've got this, since I've got it set up here, let's take this and bring it out as well. All right, so now it matches what's here. So I'm going to start here. And I'm just going to take a minute. And I want to make sure I did this exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. There's nothing there's nothing left to do there with that one. It's going to work out just fine. So all of these are exactly as they should be. Now, right now, if you were to put custom wavetables on here, user wavetables, and you wanted to you wanted the name to be match the name with your name, whatever name you give it, well, you can do that. Real easy. You just go in and into that list and change whatever it is. So right now, this one on my Blofeld is called Formants, and I could go in on the list and change it to Formants, and it would match up. I'm not going to do that here because I want to do things a little bit differently. I want to be able to read a system exclusive file, and all those names on all those lists are going to come up from from the exclusive data, and so we got a ways to go before we do that. So for the time being, reset to defaults, and there it is. So I'm adjusting the level. I'm just going to put the level all the way down. What if I want to check that? I just barely touch the knob, and there it goes. Detune. And you can't really tell that it's working until you do this, and eventually it goes away. All right, semitones. And you can see that working on the display there. Shape. So everything's fine. We've got all of this worked out exactly as it should be. Next task we need to do is build the rest of the controls for the other oscillators. So we've got one oscillator down, we've got two more to go. That was bothering me. Anyway, so we got two more oscillator controls to go. This is the easy part because now that we've got this squared away, and we already had most of the work done because this was already done in the filters. So all we got to do now, we just close that and duplicate. And now it's oscillator 2 control. And open. No, don't open. It's easier than that. Open that. All right, and there's the input monitor. And of course, we also have that input monitor. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I just keep that there for convenience. I should probably move the input monitor inside here because that's where all the fun stuff happens. So anyway, we'll go shape, and we're 2. And so this has to be 39. 36. 37. 56. And that's it. Just like that. So we'll bring this in, test it out. Yeah, there we go. And we're done with that one. And now, guess what? Oscillator 3 control. There it is in all of its glory. It is done. All right, and let's test this thing out. By the way, spoiler alert, this is not right. And if you've used Blofeld for any length of time, if you know anything about it, you know why This is not going to work. See? So you got a whole bunch of extra waves that are not available on Oscillator 3. So how do you fix that? Just really simple. Take it as far as it'll go, up to sine. All right, so we're at sine, and oh, that's still there. Okay, so yeah, I'm just kind of checking things, kind of counting up to see, you know, how what we need here. So that goes, I believe it's 0 to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. Open it. I did forget to take care of this. That should be a 3, not a 1. Which means it's got to be corrected on Oscillator 2. But yeah, it's good. Nothing else to see here. I'm going to get rid of this. It's no longer necessary. And let me pull this up. I want to correct this also. And that is all. Okay, so our oscillators are completely mapped out. So there's still work left to do. Okay, we haven't put together a user interface for this. The abstracts are UIs. I mean, the UI is built in, but we don't really see it as a front end. We see it as kind of part of an abstraction or a program. So we've got to go back in and plug it into a main program. So we got to take all of the work that we just did. We got to put it all in right here, and so that's where we'll go next.